Acting and casting, we're part of a community. And that's very important for actors to feel a part of a community. And that's
Absolutely.
any kind of actor. Um, yes, I think it's very important to turn your brain off. I play pickleball a lot,
Wow.
and
Cool.
that totally turns my brain off, totally turns my brain off of casting. So, like when you're a casting director is given a job and we're given a date that they need their submissions back,
Mhm.
their reads back, and we get no dress rehearsals as casting director. We can't say, "Oh, I didn't quite make it. Can I have another day?" No, that's not part of what a casting director can do.
Antes de adentrarnos en el mundo de los castings comerciales, les quiero pedir un gran favor. Fíjense que su suscripción es lo que más nos ayuda para seguir creciendo en este canal y así podemos traerles más entrevistas con las personas que ustedes ya conocen que son los profesionales del mundo del espectáculo en ambos lados de la cámara y el micrófono. Les toma 2 minutos hacerlo y la verdad es que solamente la mitad de ustedes lo han hecho. Así que no se les olvide. Hagan clic, suscríbanse, otro clic en la campanita de notificaciones. Muchas gracias. No saben el gusto que me da presentarles hoy a una mujer excepcional. Ella es la directora de casting y coach Terry Berland. Terry dirige su compañía Berland Casting en Los Ángeles, donde realiza castings para proyectos de publicidad, doblaje, animación, videojuegos, teatro, cine y televisión. Su trayectoria abarca más de 25 años y ha recibido premios como el Clio, el Festival Internacional de Cine de Houston, el Club de Directores de Arte, el Addy y el Festival Internacional de Cine y Televisión. Terry ha sido fundamental en el lanzamiento de las carreras de muchos actores. Ha sido profesora adjunta del Instituto Lee Strasberg y de la Academia Americana de Música y Drama en Nueva York, y además ha viajado a ciudades en todo Estados Unidos para impartir cursos de actuación en técnicas comerciales y capacitarlos para el mundo de la publicidad. También es coautora del libro Breaking into Commercials, que la verdad es como la Biblia para los actores que quieren comenzar en la actuación de comerciales en televisión o en locución. Hi Terry, how are you doing today?
I'm great. I'm here with you. What could be better?
Thank you so much. It's really an honor to have you here because you have such an amazing career. You started in New York, right? And then you moved to LA. Tell me a little bit about what got you interested in casting in the first place.
Well, I started a long time ago before there was an internet. We used to answer phones. And I actually started, I had a job in advertising. It was very good opportunity for women. I lived in New York City and there was Madison Avenue. And I actually fell into the casting department. There were no independent casting directors at that time. Um, of course, Madison Avenue ad agencies specialized in commercials. And so I started by answering phones, being an assistant. And you had to work your way up the ladder to get the title of a casting director. It wasn't like today where a friend could give you a casting job and you say, okay, I'm a casting director. So,
Yeah.
and then I fell in love with it. I love the actors. I loved going to theater. I love the creativity of it all. And I love the details of the business. So I
And
stayed in it. And then, of
uh
course, I had to work my way up, and that was difficult.
yeah, of course, with especially in a place like New York with so many things going on, so many productions, and just a very, very busy city on its own, right? And but nowadays, I mean, of course, then you move to LA. Um, if someone and I'd like to get back to it, like what took you there, but just a little question in there. Now that you're mentioning that you had to work your way up. Is it the same nowadays when you get someone that, to work in your own company, Berland Casting? How do you prepare a new casting director?
Really, by them being an assistant, they might work the lobby of a callback. And there are less opportunities now because most of the first calls for on camera um, are over the internet, so, where it used to be the first calls were in our lobby, so we needed staff for that. So a lot of actors were freelancing as our assistants, and then as they got to know what they were doing, they would move up. And when we were ultra busy and needed someone to help us sort out, make choices, first rung of choices, they would start doing that. But the opportunities are more difficult now. Although I am a member of the CSA, which is Casting Society of America,
Yeah.
which actually is worldwide. And they actually have a program to where they have casting directors. This is theatrical, where I'm referring to theater, film, and television. And they have a program where you can learn to be an assistant, and there are mentors, and there's a mentorship.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Mhm.
definitely. And there's an advantage for actors who later become casting directors because now they've been on both sides of the table, right?
It really does help to see and feel and understand what goes on behind the scenes. So you don't take anything personally.
Yeah, exactly. And so, how many years were you in New York?
Oh, my whole formative life, I moved to LA. I had already become the head of casting for BBDO, which at the time was the third largest ad agency in the world. and and I came to LA. I've been here since 1992.
Okay. And would you ever go back to New York?
I would always consider going back. My family's there. Yes.
Hmm.
But I'm very
It's
happy here, and I'm part of a community. And the acting and casting, we're part of a community. And that's very important for actors to feel a part of a community. And that's
absolutely.
any kind of actor. Since I specialize in commercials, even though I do cast independent, smaller, independent, lower budget independent films, I'm really known for commercial on camera and voiceover.
Exactly. I mean,
So,
and you've cast like for major brands,
oh
but
yeah.
how do you do it? I mean, how do you divide yourself between all of the work? I mean, you must be looking at thousands of submissions for each project, and you do both on camera and voiceover. So, how does that
Yeah.
work in your company?
Well, when we're busy, it's very, very challenging.
I bet.
And yeah. And when we're fortunate enough, we'll get one job, and then at the end of that job, another job will come in, or in the middle of that job. And so there's a couple of days of prep. So prepping for the prep to get even the audition out released.
Yeah.
It we do I look at everything or listen to everything. It's my responsibility, I feel, as a casting director. After all, I've invited you to audition, so it's my responsibility to listen to everything. And we are very squeezed for time, but hopefully I'm given enough time for instance, if it's a voiceover and I have to listen, and I have there are several roles or lots of roles. I could easily get 500 per role. For on camera, I easily get 1,200 per role.
That's a
Um,
lot.
yeah, it is a lot. And so it's a lot of your eyes on the screen. So hopefully I'm given enough time where I can get away from the screen and take a little break, have my eyes take a little break.
Exactly. You do need those breaks because then everything gets kind of blurry after a while, and you can't keep really your focus and your concentration on the screen that long.
Yeah, and it's
Um,
not a 9 to 5 job, so hopefully I get something in where I get all my submissions back by a Thursday or Friday. And even though I'm not being paid to work on a weekend, I actually like to have that weekend time, because then here and there I can go back to it and spend an hour if it's voiceover listening or on camera watching.
yeah. Do you ever turn your casting director brain off, or is it always on? Like when you go to a supermarket or a coffee shop, you're like, "Oh, I would cast so and so in that. Oh, that girl would be perfect for for that commercial or that thing."
Yes,
Does it
I
ever?
do
Yeah.
that. And I had mentioned it's a community. So since I cast in LA, there are many times I will go to a restaurant and my waiter, sees my credit card and recognizes my name and says hello, or I'm in a supermarket and we say hello to each other. Um, yes, I think it's very important to turn your brain off. I play pickleball a lot,
Wow.
and
Cool.
that totally turns my brain off, totally turns my brain off of casting.
It's so important to have that. Something where you
Yeah,
really you get rid of stress, you decompress and everything, and
for
there you
actors
go. Yeah.
too, for actors too. And it's really
Yeah.
important for actors to have other interests other than acting. And most of the time, those interests actually come in handy somehow in their acting career unexpectedly. So
Yeah.
it's a double win whammo for
That's right.
actors.
They do, because you never know when something as weird as, I don't know, maybe scuba diving for, at a certain
Yeah,
depth or something would be exactly what they're looking for or whatever, you name it. I mean, there's all sorts of things like
everything.
a lasso or, have you got some horseback riding or can you shoot and, do archery while horseback riding? You never know. There's a
Even
lot of everything.
photography. I mean, for on camera, they'll say, I want someone who really knows photography, knows how to take a picture, considers himself a photographer, because they might hold the phone a different way, or
Hmm.
there's a different attitude when they're taking the photo.
You can
And
see
for
the experience.
voiceover, yes, you can see and feel the experience.
Yeah.
And for voiceover, like I've cast motorcycles and they want me to find voiceover people who actually ride or own a motorcycle, who are motorcyclists, hmm or
Yeah.
other special skills like that.
Because different, even if you're not on camera, with voiceover, everything is your voice is what projects and comes out of every experience, and you can hear it. You can definitely hear the connection in your voice to something that you
Yes,
know about, right?
I was
Yeah.
waiting till you finished to use the word connection, but
There you
you hit
go.
it. That's absolutely right. The connection.
Yeah. So what
Hmm.
is it talking about connection, but in your from your point of view, when you listen to, let's take voiceover for example, when
Okay.
you listen to auditions,
Mhm.
what makes you want to listen to more than the first 3 or 5 seconds and to maybe even the second take?
There's a definite connection to the copy. I it feels authentic, that the person believes in what they're saying.
Mm.
Yeah, that's, I call it a point of view. And
Uh-huh.
the voiceover artist who's delivering this has a definite point of view, which even if it's informational copy for a commercial, um, you definitely want a point of view is what um, enables you to stand out.
Right. Even for a
Yeah,
tag, you still have to have a point of view, even if it's just one line. But you can tell a good
yeah,
experienced pair of ears, you can tell if there's a connection, right?
yeah. And what I do is I have to do several passes on my selections. So the first pass, I'm very, very generous. And then, um, you know, I would say typically after my first pass, I could easily have 175 people who made it through the first pass, who I feel are right. But my client won't listen to that many. Maybe they'll listen to 30. They tell me how many they want to listen to. So then I go through a second pass, and then I have to go through a third pass. Now, by the third pass, I have to be extremely attuned to something. And for me, the way I would describe it is I get attuned to, I'm really listening to a point of view and to transitions, how they're
Mm.
handling, how the read is handling the transitions, which definitely, um, you know, understanding a piece of copy will come out in how you handle the transitions. And
Definitely.
then,
Yeah.
truthfully, at the very, very end, it's subjective. It's even subjective. Then the clients, they usually come back to me with three choices. So I'll put three people on a veil. And then they, if it's a voiceover, match, they'll play the copy. If it's TV, they'll look at the spot,
Mhm.
and it's an emotion, there's an emotional feel to the voice. I always look at voiceover. A spot has an emotional feel to it, and I first figure out and totally understand the emotional feel to a read, because for a voiceover on a commercial spot, um, there's the voice is the last thing they put on it. And so the voiceover actor has to understand the emotional feel of the spot, what's being asked of them. And it's it is the last thing. It's like icing on the cake. And those of you who have been booked for voiceovers, or you see the breakdown, you'll notice that well, we don't tell you when it starts running or airing, but you will know usually when you get booked, and you'll notice it airs like a couple of days later after you're recording,
For
usually.
voiceover, yes, the turnaround is so quick.
Yeah. And the
Definitely.
voice is the last element to it. On camera commercials, also, it's you'll notice that for commercials, it shoots probably 4 days after your callback, because the clients have flown in to wherever the callback is, and that's the location of the shoot. And they go locations. Someone has location scouted for them, usually a day after the callbacks. the whole creative team goes and looks at the locations. They already have their permits and everything, and they're all there, and they have their final client meeting while they're all there, and then they go to the shoot. So it's very
Yeah.
condensed at the end.
It is. It is. And have you seen since COVID that, oh, of course, always the first audition, it's a self-tape audition. But, callbacks. I've done a lot of Zoom callbacks or like in a special app. But do you see more and more, well, depending on where it's shooting, I suppose, but more in-person callbacks?
My callbacks, I would say 99% of them are in person.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. That's good.
But there are some that aren't, but mine happen to be, and most are. And I actually find it much more civilized than how it was before COVID. I mean, there were definitely pluses to coming in your first call. Definitely. And I'm glad that I've had that experience all these years, but I can consider more people um with self tapes on the first call. So that gives the actors a good advantage, and it also is less stress on me. It's very, very scary. You, as a casting director, we have to figure out mathematically how many people we can see in a day. And we are hoping that every single person who comes in is doing a really, really great audition, is giving a great audition. So now we don't have to worry about that, and more actors can have more chances. Then the callback is more civilized, and they're more generous with the callback people, numbers of people. And I find it's much more civilized. When I have a callback, I can say hello to everyone and chat with them for a few moments. Where on the first call, we would have to have 175 people in, put you four at a time, line you up against the wall, to get ready to go into because we had to move it along very, very, very quickly. Um, yeah, and then for union, we would never send you the script ahead of time, never,
Oh,
because no, it was
hmm.
just it would be too it would feel too polished to rehearse. And union actors knew how to do a really good cold on camera commercial read, and they could figure it out, in 3 minutes, and rehearse it a little bit, come in the room, we'd have cue cards for you, and you do it. So it feels very fresh.
Mm. Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know. I always like to have a copy ahead of time.
Well, we
You
didn't
know,
do that. It
but
was
wow.
unheard
But yeah,
of.
but I understand that. Yeah, I mean, you have
Hmm.
that freshness, and you don't have a lot of time to keep ruminating over it. It's so it's
Yeah, and you
yeah.
just
There's a
knew
lot of
what you were
value into that.
doing. It's all about your personality and how you apply your personality to what the copy is asking for.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So once you can tap into your personality, I teach both on camera and voiceover because I'm a casting director at both. And the biggest thing for on camera is to really, really know your personality and how to apply your personality to the situation, because it has to feel very, very authentic. And your personality is who you are in the industry in general. You're not what As a casting director, you want to get to a point where we just don't think of your auditions. Let's say it's a given that you give good auditions, you're a good actor. But then it's about who you are as a personality. You get known to be as a living entity, as a person. In fact, I just had a blog that dropped on Casting Network's news feed. I've been a blog writer for them for years. And this blog is that um, it's about the longevity you have in the business as an actor is to feel trusted. That's,
Mhm.
it's a given that you have to be a good actor, but it's trust that brings you through the end of time for as long as you want to be an actor.
And definitely branding is a big part of a personality. So they can be more or less the same, right? Like how you behave or how you speak or your tone of voice or your general look. And it's important for an actor to know their strengths and how they are perceived by other people, even just to put your descriptions and, when you do headshots. You explain things like that very well in your book, Breaking into Commercials,
Thank
which I'm
you.
going to link to in the show notes. But yeah, talk a little bit about how important it is for an actor to know how to present themselves in that sense, to use their branding.
Well, it's you have to know who you are, what you look like. For instance, for on camera, do you look charactery and nerdy? Do you look hip and cool? Do you look very put together? Does your essence feel, for instance, very grounded and put together? You have to really get to know yourself. So you can't really make up and invent who you are. I would say start with the essence of who you really are authentically, because everything has to have such an authentic feel. So you have to know who you are and then, go with that.
Yeah. And once you know that, then you'll know the best type of clothes that you can use for your headshots and just continue to, present yourself in that way when it's
Yeah,
totally
and
aligned with your
it's
personality.
yeah, I mean you just have the commercials, you have to have, you know, more positive colors than theatrical. It's theatrical shots are different that way. But no matter what it is, we have to see truth in your eyes and we have to feel something going on behind the look. So it takes acting, tapping into acting to get a good headshot, and then you have to be able to live up to that headshot. I'd say the most wasted thing you can do as a commercial actor is to have the same attitude in your eyes, in your feel of who you are, and wear just different outfits. I mean, that's dumbing everything down, and we can see right through that. We can see that you're green, that you're a beginner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And
Do
then
you
for voice,
typically, yeah,
go
go
ahead.
ahead, go ahead. No, go ahead. Then for voiceover?
Well, for voiceover, you definitely also have to know what your strengths are, what your brand is. When I teach voiceover, I teach um, voice strengthening through a branding exercise that takes homework and everything. It's very unique because you want to own your read. You want to know what kind of read you're good for, um,
Mhm.
your strengths. And you want to look at something and salivate and say, "Ah, I could put my voice to that. I know just how that would sound."
Exactly. And then know your limitations, right? Also.
Yeah, there's a number of voiceover people who can do everything and everything. And it's shocking to me, who's obviously, done this a long time. It's shocking their range. That's a few people. You're not expected to have a range like that. Just know what you're really good at and have a variation around what you're good at, because if you go to a booking and voiceover booking and they're gonna move you a little here, there, around, and if they can't move you, um they communicate with me. I get the text during the day when you're at the booking, what's with this person? It doesn't happen often. Maybe it's happened twice in my whole career. Um, because I have to take responsibility also for presenting someone who can um, work well, come through in a booking situation. If I've over directed you and you got it because of that, and then you get to the booking and you can't do it, that would be a really terrible situation. So,
Oh,
and they always
definitely.
blame the casting director because
Hmm.
we're the ones who presented you. So we get blamed. So we're, you hear this all the time, you actors, and I'm going to say it again. You're going to hear it again. We're rooting for you. We want you to do well. You might not have heard this from a lot of people, but we, as casting directors, are nothing without good actors. So,
That is so generous of you to say because I mean, someone like you know the business so well, and you're so generous also in all the tips that you give out, in social media, and you're constantly there rooting for the actor.
yes,
And a lot of the times we're scared, we're like, oh, kind of afraid of what casting directors do or say because they're the gatekeepers. But actually, no, you are 100% right. You do want actors to do
yeah,
well. You do need actors to do well and to know how to create interesting choices and be directable for when they're on set. And they also keep
exactly.
making you look good that, oh, yeah, this casting director made the right choice recommending this person, right?
That's
Because
right.
yeah, it's a big
Hmm.
part of it. Yeah.
Very big part of it. So
Yeah. So
you're
if you
not, as an actor, don't think of yourself as being alone. You're definitely part of a team.
correct, yeah, totally.
And
If
as a
if
casting director, I really feel it when like for voiceover, I had a situation over Christmas holiday where all the talent was picked and everything was ready to go, and then I got a text during the holiday. Their client, the ad agency's client who they were presenting to did not go for who they picked. And
hmm,
so I had to quickly pivot, and I trusted. It's nerve-wracking, it's scary, but I trusted, okay, I know the agents I can get in touch with, even though it's a holiday. And I knew actors that I could email and say, would you read this? This happened to be the day before Christmas Eve,
oof,
and one actor said, oh, I'd be glad to, but I'm at a Christmas dinner. I'll do it tonight. I can get it to you your time. It would be about 2 in the morning. And I said, great. So there's a community and we trust each other. We know that we're there for each other. I can't do
yeah,
it without you guys, and you can't do it without us. So,
it's definitely a community. And what is one thing that actors can do to make your job easier?
well, definitely follow instructions.
Mhm.
Um, Definitely for on camera confirm quickly. And I would say get your auditions in sooner rather than later, because just say you get the audition on a Tuesday and you can see the final deadline is Thursday. Don't wait till the final deadline. Get them in sooner, because it allows us to we start scanning to see if reads have come in, and as soon as they come in, we can start our selection process. So it helps us, rather than if everyone waited till the very end, then we'd be squeezed
Oh,
to,
that'd be
yeah,
horrible. No, no.
exactly.
Yeah,
And
I
for
can just
voiceover
imagine.
too, I give a deadline. The agents tell me I'm pretty generous, even though, I mean, it's up to my client. I have to guide my clients. Um, but there are many times that the agents get the reads back to me before my deadline that I've asked for. And that really helps.
Oh, yeah, that gives you more time. And when you get a submission or a project from a client, then you have to translate that into the breakdown in a way that actors would actually understand those instructions and know exactly what they have to do.
Mhm.
Have you gotten some that are so hard to transcribe in actor speak, for example, that you've had to go back to the client and say, "Hey, no, I need more of an explanation on this. What is this? What do you want from the actors?"
Yes, because I read, obviously, what they've sent me. I look over the script. I do what I suggested a little while ago, is I figure out the emotional feel of the spot, what's going to work. And if they've given me opposing um
Instructions or
direction,
yeah,
I'll email them and I'll say, the script says this. Like, where does this come in that you've described? I don't see it in the script. Or sometimes there's a line that when I read the script, it could be, for instance, read kindly or sarcastically. And so I get to say, do you want this with sarcastic humor, or do you want this innocent and kind? Where if a casting director, and they answer me, if a casting
mm,
director is not involved, you're left with the first direction, which is very confusing. So it should be much better when, for you guys, you actors who are listening and watching, when a casting director is involved. I feel that's part of, what we're supposed to do is, well, not only is it part of what we're supposed to do, but then we get back what we're expecting,
exactly.
how we
That's what I
want
was
it
going to
to
say.
feel. Yeah.
And you save time, don't you? Because otherwise, you don't want a bunch of submissions where nothing is clear and you have to go back to the agent and say, "No, I don't think anybody understood what they had to do or say, or tell them to do this,
Yeah.
this, and that." So, why would you have to go back and forth? If you do it
Exactly.
right the first time and
Exactly.
explain everything you want,
Yeah.
then you're going to
But
get the good
there is
results.
no, there isn't time. There isn't a lot of time. We're not given, unfortunately, a lot of time. So, like, when you're a casting director is given a job and we're given a date that they need their submissions back,
Hmm.
their reads back, and we get no dress rehearsals as casting director. We can't say, oh, I didn't quite make it. Can I have another day? No, that's not part of what a casting director can do.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
Well,
Exactly.
I want to thank you for giving all those wonderful explanations of
Oh.
exactly what you want because that's super helpful. I mean, I've gotten auditions where there's no direction, like none at all. It's just like, here's the script, here's the link for you to upload it. That's it. Sometimes not even like a file naming instruction or something like that. So I'm just, I guess I'll name it like
Oh.
this. So yeah, and a lot of the times you don't know if that's good enough, but and that's all you have, to
Yeah.
go on. But
Well, that's when you have to really know how to look at a script, figure out the emotional feel of it, figure out, yeah, the emotional feel of what they want from the final, on the, the final spot.
yeah,
It's funny
I,
when I teach a lot of voiceover, most times I don't put direction on because part of what I teach is how to figure all that out. Because even when you get direction for a voiceover, this is more for a voiceover than on camera. When you get direction, it could be too, it's complex. The
mhm,
emotional field can be complex. There could be positive and sympathetic. So, which way are you going to lean? If you lean too sympathetic, then you're the voice of the problem. So, you probably have to lean a little more positively with a brushing sympathetic right under it.
mhm.
Um, yeah, so when they give you those two, give us a positive feel, but still be sympathetic. Like, really, look at that copy and see what it's saying. The feel of the spot is saying, so you know what to do.
Exactly. Now
Yeah.
let's talk about trends. So, we had the sympathetic or the COVID read. It was like
I
every spot would start in unprecedented times.
I know,
Everything
I was
started
looking
like
through
that.
scripts to pick for some actors, voiceover for to teach. And I came across a whole bunch of them. I said, "What? Oh, this was during COVID."
Yeah, it was a very specific kind of
Yes,
read. But how do you see
yes.
it now? Is it more supportive, a lot more energetic, or just like give me more human nuances so we can detect that you're not a robot kind of thing, because that's so much of what we want to do this, day and age. Just keep our jobs
What?
being as natural
Oh,
as we can.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah, it's very real. Very a real feel and sound
Yeah.
to it.
And
And
and so that helps to know also that our auditions, I mean, the voice and everything doesn't have to be. One of the instructions I'm hearing or I'm looking at a lot is we don't want anything polished, like nothing polished. It's
well,
like
that's old already.
give us gravelly, give us like it doesn't have to
Gravelly?
sound like
Mm.
like a perfect, well, not gravelly all the time, but like little human things, little tidbits of expressions that allows us to see that you're actually thinking, you're responding, you're in the moment, that sort of thing.
Very interesting. I'm glad you said that. Yes. Now, before AI started was a thing, there was a time, thank goodness it only lasted about 6 months. Someone out there was teaching to edit very, very tightly. So it was like you finished your last word and your next word, this is voiceover, was right
Uh,
there. This was before AI. And I said, whoa, like this sounds awful. This doesn't sound, there's no life to this. So I would email the agents and say, because I knew the actors, have this actor, they're editing too tightly. Um, and now, of course, now that AI is here, that's exactly what's we've discovered. You need, I'm going to say breath, space, moment. When I say breath, I mean moment. I don't mean, of course, we don't want to hear that.
Sure.
But we need that moment. There's life in that moment that those of us who are listening, it fills in. And it's just a moment, it's an instant that we need. You need that.
Yeah, it needs to
So,
feel natural. Nobody speaks super,
exactly.
super fast all the time. I mean, there are some fast talkers, but even them take a moment a little bit to think about what they're going to say next. And so,
That's for the
yeah,
legal reads, right? There's such a thing.
yeah,
The legal.
exactly. Or, yeah. I mean, we do
Yeah.
have that sometimes, but yeah.
So now, with AI, yes, I could see where you're seeing a lot of however they say it. Take the moment, let it breathe. Yeah, that would be important. Hmm.
So the trends are more that, and there's a lot of anthems out there, what they call an anthem, but it's actually someone like thinking out loud. Or, there's different kinds of anthems, I suppose, but I've seen a lot of those come
Yeah.
through.
Yeah. And then it's really interesting for voiceover. Like the first thing I thought of is, well, the voiceover artist would use their mic in a certain way. So there's relationship with the mic and
Hmm.
how you use your mic, relate, let me say relate to your mic. That gives it that different kind of feel, whether it's in your head, whether it's very direct, um, if you're being a little more coy, personality driven. There are different ways to use your mic. And there is a relationship with the mic for voiceover.
Yes, and we definitely have to stay clear of just being so close to the mic that you're liking that ooh, that, bass sound, because then you just go through the sound instead of paying attention to how you're feeling and how your emotions are coming into play.
Yeah, I always teach, like, if you're too close to the mic, you're not giving yourself room to express. So, if you would work very close to the mic, that would be for a very intimate feel to your read. Um, so you would be, further away where it gives you space to, like, if you want to, if the feel is more direct towards one person,
Mhm.
you leave yourself some room. Yeah, so there you can use a little more voice, where if it's right here, you're stopping yourself. And
Yeah.
then the third way to use a mic is work past it. So, for instance, radio, if it's radio is bigger, you're creating the whole picture with your voice and radio, where TV,
Correct.
yeah, TV, you're supporting the picture. Um, so for radio, you could work like past the mic, not pay attention to it. So you get out more personality. So those are the three basic ways, very quickly, I could say, to use the mic.
Yeah. And do you teach most voiceover courses online or do you do any of them in person?
I do them all online. I do everything now online because that's how they'll be working. That's how you actors who are looking at this, that's how you'll be working.
Yeah.
So it's more authentic, I feel. And for on camera, online also, because part of the teaching is I'll send a script and say, and I'll give lots and lots of direction as you would get in real life. send me the audition, and then I'll look at the audition and give notes from that. Hmm.
Yeah, that's right. Everything is online, and we have to make use of all those tools in the best way that we can. But
Yeah.
that's what's being asked of us, and we've all had to learn how to use our light and our backdrops and colors that are good for us and
Yeah.
everything.
But it
Yeah,
doesn't have to be complicated at all. In fact, even though for on camera, even though there's um a lot of non-union, unfortunately, the union, we really go pretty much by union rules, and the union
mhm,
has rules on how much we can ask of you.
yeah,
And,
that's
you
right.
know, those of you who are watching who audition theatrically, film, television, that's usually union. And, you know, there's just so many pages that we're allowed to give you. You're being protected. Hmm.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's just so much
Yeah.
better when it's within the union. But yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of work that is non-union, and
Mhm.
it's not ideal, but well, it is what it is. What can we do?
I was just going to say that it is what it is. We
Yeah.
ride it out. We be as ethical as possible. Actors, protect yourself. You know, don't take anything in perpetuity for sure. If it's describing AI, you know, make sure you're protected. Hmm.
That's we have to be so ready for that. And I like that in your book you also have a chapter on scams and how to be aware of them.
Yeah.
And my goodness, there's so many. I mean, it just feels like there's more and more each day, and a lot of
Oh,
them come
yeah.
from a Gmail address. And but you have to be aware of them because yeah, then they appear okay, and they even have a picture of a person in the signature,
Yeah.
but it's really no, it's not real.
I know casting directors are getting through the CSA, we get notices that something was going on where someone was using a casting director's name
Mm,
for a breakdown. And yeah, so I'm not
that
sure
is
what the person
horrible.
who put it out was getting out of the whole thing, but it was a
Yeah,
scam.
that's really not clear, but we definitely have to be aware of that and definitely not give any information at all. Just knowing how
Yeah,
to pick out those
ex
things. Yeah.
exactly. Like on your pictures and resumes or anything, like definitely do not put your social security number. Don't put your address. You know, put your cell, no address, no social security. The only time you give your social security number is at the very end when it's
When
you're
you have a
filling out
contract.
payment. Exactly. You're filling out your payment forms.
Yeah,
Yeah,
correctly. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Terry, where can actors go to sign up for your courses?
Oh, I have thank you, Terry Berland Workshops.com.
Okay.
And if anyone wants to reach out to me, there's an email address there, and it's info@Berland Casting. And on that Terry Berland Workshops, there's I write blogs for, I'm a blog writer for many years for Casting Network's news feed. So you'll see blogs. I have something called the Inside Room where I interview people. Um, so lots of free educational stuff. So that's all on there too.
Perfect. Oh, that's wonderful. And of course, like I said, you share so much on social media that people will definitely need to follow you. And I'll put a link to that,
Thank
to
you.
your social media profiles and everything. So
Thank
anyway, are
you.
you ready for the lightning round?
Oh, I didn't know there was one, but sure.
There is a lightning round. Quick questions, quick answers. So just having a little fun. Okay. Well, here we go. If you weren't a casting director and coach, what other profession would you be?
Would want to do something with sociology.
That's very interesting. Still in the realm of people and knowing
Right?
people and everything. You're
Yeah.
a people person. That's lovely. I
Yes.
like that. I like that. How do you start your days? I mean, you need so much energy for everything that you do. So,
For for
how do
s-
you do that?
for some moments, I center myself, calm myself, and then I love matcha, so I make myself a cup of matcha.
Okay, Terry, you're going to Atlanta, aren't you? Voiceover
Yes.
Atlanta? Okay,
Yes.
we will have a matcha. I like it with milk, so we will have a matcha latte together.
We
How's
will,
that?
yes, we will definitely
Yes.
get together.
I've also, yes, declared myself a matcha lover for sure. Um, when was the last time you took a vacation?
It's a sore spot.
I
Yeah,
know because
that's a sore spot.
you're so dedicated to your job, and like you said, things come
No,
in last minute. It's you're on.
I want to go to Paris.
Oh, you should. You should.
Yeah, I've been once and I want to go again. Yeah, that is a sore spot. So let's leave it at that.
Well, put it in your calendar and just move everything,
Actually,
then
after
make it
VO
happen.
Atlanta, I go to Florida, and one of my best friends is a casting director there, Lori Wyman, and we sometimes go off on excursions. So I'm hoping we're going to go to Bimini for a couple of days.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That sounds lovely. Okay, good. Definitely you should do that. Um, and this is a similar question, but where is your favorite place to relax and unwind? I mean, you mentioned you do pickleball. That's good to get rid of stress. But if you want to do the opposite and just, unplug, where do you do that?
I love California. I love the mountains
Mhm.
and I love the terrain. So I'll either, and it's so close, you just go a mile or two, and I can be in the mountains or I can be on the high cliffs, see the ocean and the mountains. So that is what I find that very, very relaxing.
It is. There's nothing like looking at the ocean and out into a sunset or a sunrise.
Yeah,
And yeah,
exactly.
it's just gorgeous. Um, what is, okay, this, we're flipping the script a little bit. What is the worst thing an actor can do in a callback? And this I'm talking on camera.
Um, Not hear the direction that the director has given them and not understand it. It's like, ooh,
Yeah.
probably it's their nerves that got in the way. Yeah.
Yeah, it can happen.
Or ask a lot of questions when they're
Mhm.
being given, not really. And I think nerves, I think that's nerves too. Just center yourself, listen. And I've seen actors then very quickly, they know how to, they'll kind of out loud to themselves, okay, this, and this. Like they'll repeat to themselves what they're supposed to hit,
Uh-huh.
um, the notes they're supposed to hit, so to speak. Um, and and then they just do it.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
That would work. That's much better. Um, if you could go back in time, what would you say to yourself at 21 years of age?
Don't worry, it'll be all right. It'll work out. Probably
Perfect.
not the
Yeah.
first time you've heard that answer, but that's what came to me. So,
It's because we gain so much with experience, right? And but when we're young, sometimes we think that's what the world is, and we don't know if things will get better. I mean, there's some peak
but it was
moments
so
where,
much fun
yeah, that too,
too.
that too, yeah, for sure. Okay, and one more. if you could write a message and put it in a bottle and then just toss it into the ocean for
Oh,
anybody to find, what would that message be?
for anybody to find,
Mm.
you are loved.
Ah, I love that. Yes, that is something people definitely need to hear. And
Right?
yeah, I love that. Yeah, that's wonderful. Yes. Terry, thank you so much. You don't know how grateful I am for this conversation. I've been wanting to talk to you here on this podcast for a while, so I
Oh,
really
thank
appreciate your time.
you. And I'll see you at VO Atlanta. We'll get
And
together and have that
yeah,
matcha and
it's
talk more, okay?
we'll definitely do that. It's coming soon. So anyway, thank you so much,
Hmm.
and yeah, we'll talk soon. And I'll put the links to your social media, to everything, so that people can follow you, sign up for your courses, and buy your book and
Thank
everything.
you.
All
Thanks.
right. Thank you so much, Terry. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.